Yeah.
Yo. Good.
Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
Well, welcome me back, because I'm
Yeah,
gone.
I know. Man, we missed
A
you.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no.
You see last week's episode?
I started listening to it, I fell asleep.
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie, I just turned it off.
It was that boring.
Nah, you know what I did? Y'all were on Zoom, weren't y'all?
Yeah.
I could hear the Zoom through the audio and say I don't want nothing to do with it because y'all know I hate Zoom. Y'all know I hate Zoom. I heard the voice. I said y'all were on Zoom.
It's a lack of laughter in here. That must not have been in person. Had to be.
Bruh, it was. I just heard it. I was like, oh man, they on Zoom, bro. That's tough. It's tough. You know how much I hate Zoom, so I couldn't support it now. You know, on GP.
You couldn't support it?
Oh, well, not that I couldn't support it. I just wasn't gonna put myself through that kind of pain. You know how much I hate Zoom.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
It's cool.
You listen, son.
Yeah.
It's cool.
We know I hate Zoom, bro.
I know that you
With a
hate Zoom.
burning passion.
I know that you hate Zoom.
Like
Okay.
a supernova.
And I understand that, last time wasn't the best of times.
That's fair.
But,
Yeah, I wasn't no rendition to be out at that point.
No.
To be honest,
no.
I was not.
But it's cool though, because, we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk. Darius, how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm alive. That's the best thing I can say. How you doing? Yeah.
For y'all listening, this is our guest today. Her name is Brianna Alvarez.
Hey.
You not clapping?
I heard this ringing in my ear, and I'm like really zoned into that. Y'all don't hear that? Alright, it's just me.
Oh,
Hey!
He was late and didn't clap.
We clapped. You was just sitting there, just.
Damn, man, you ever been shot twice?
No. 50 Cent been shot twice. 4.5 times.
Oh, good. I was gonna help you on that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I'm trying to.
Hey,
you got
shout out 50.
Sorry.
Yeah, shout out 50. That may be trolling on the internet for real. It's hilarious. But that's beside the point. I got a question for y'all.
What's up?
Who has the best fast food French fries? Say y'all talk about it.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. All right, why Chick-fil-A?
I really don't know.
You really don't know why?
No.
You just
Is it
went
It's,
French
good.
fries.
It's not too salty.
Okay.
It gets you full.
Okay.
They look good, like presentable.
Okay.
Okay. That's important.
Is that a conclusion?
That's
That's
important.
true. That's true. That's true. Yes.
And they taste bomb.
Okay.
So,
Are you dipping in the sauce?
so,
Yes.
so do you think that it being waffle fries has anything to do with it, or if it was just regular fries, it'd be the same thing for you?
It would not be the same. I don't know if it's the waviness. I don't know if it's the waviness or not. It just tastes good.
I feel that.
No, I realize I never seen what a potato grater for a waffle fry look like. I mean, like, I've never seen that before. Think about it, bruh. How do they cook the things in the waffle fries?
What if they press them down like that?
What you mean?
Like put it in the machine and they press it down and they come out like that?
Right, but yeah, but what's the mold look like? You know what I'm saying? Like if you do it for like a regular fry, it's just like straight grid holes and it's gonna hump, right? But what if for a waffle fry, what's the hole look like?
It's a great question. But before I answer, I'm gonna ask y'all to skip me, but I'm gonna ask this.
Wait.
Are we only talking big chain restaurants? Or just in general the best fries we ever had?
No. I'm thinking big chain. Big chain. Like it's gotta be in more than one state.
Man, you ever had Harold's with the mild sauce on the fries, bro?
Nah, that's real. No. I like the mild sauce. I like the
It is
fries,
good.
but I never feel like I
But
like
it's
my
not
fries crispy like
top.
that though.
It's not top notch.
Yeah, it's not. It's alright.
Okay, but what about fries like without the sauce?
Like dipping is cool, but if the Harold's fry without the sauce, they hit like that.
Okay.
See, I'm a potato connoisseur, so this is a really deep question.
Ooh, say it again.
I'm a potato connoisseur. I
Ooh.
love potato. Like
Twist
potato.
your mustache up right now.
Yeah,
Twist
you
your
know.
mustache
Yeah,
up.
sure. You know, like I love potato, bro. I love potatoes, like in all different forms, bro. So you you asking that question, that's a lot of depth. Because then we could be like, all right, well, are we basing that just fresh, hot out the grease good? Or are we talking about like they can last for maybe about like a good 10 minutes without you really touching them and they'll still be good, kind of good. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
Is there any fry that can do that? Can do both?
Here's okay. Real quick.
So there's your answer.
I'm gonna put mine in here, and this is new for me. I never thought I would say this. White Castles. Okay. White Castle fries. They're always crispy. They hot. They gonna deteriorate unlike McDonald's fries. They not gonna be dry like Chick-fil-A fries. And it better. I mean, Burger King, Wendy's really got a hit. I really want to go with Wendy's, but something in my heart. White Castle's Big chain. You said big chain.
You said big chain.
I said big chain.
I've never had White Castle before.
Don't.
First of all,
they don't have any calories, right?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Where's the deal? Everybody talk about White Castle like it's gonna hurt your stomach later.
It does.
You know, I have a philosophy, right? Like I'm gonna go watch scary movies, right? Because I don't see the point in scaring myself. I don't enjoy being scared. So at the same time, I don't enjoy diarrhea. I'm not gonna go to White Castle.
Don't get the burger.
Don't get the burger.
Right.
Yeah, then there's
Well,
no point
yeah.
of going to White
Yeah.
Castle.
They got onion rings and chicken rings and
Chicken rings.
No, hey,
The
yo,
chicken
no,
rings are good.
Why is it chicken wing?
Chicken
What do you
It's a
wear?
ring.
A chicken ring.
It's a ring.
Like they take ground chicken and make it to a ring shape and then fry it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'll do.
Decent. I'm not gonna hold you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna hold you. Like, you said it, get off.
But if you tell people that you're going to White Castle for chicken rings, they're like,
Oh yeah, I know. People are judgy. I'm one of them.
I feel like we just collectively just need to have a day where we just chill with each other, and each one of us, we just go to a different restaurant,
Then bring it here.
or like we can all go together. You know what I'm saying? So 3 different restaurants in one day, so he can show us this cheese with chicken. Listen, my guy, I don't like it either. But to be fair for him to try what I want him to try, I'm gonna have to take a.
That's fair. But remember
Hold
this
on,
nigga
what
sent us
do
a
you
picture?
What
He
do
sent
you
us
want
the
me
picture,
to
and I was
try?
like, how the picture not even looking good, bruh?
Bruh.
Like the concept of my brain don't even feel like it's right. But the picture
Hey,
looked disgusting.
hey,
I said,
I
ew.
cannot wait to see your face when you. When that reality hits you and you finally realize, dang, I've been wrong all this time. This nigga was on to something. And I'm gonna just sit there, bro, and I'm gonna absorb that. I'm gonna absorb in the defeat that y'all gonna have on y'all face.
That strange negative energy coming from you over there. You saw a bunch of tears in your soul in me, bro.
I'll be like, right,
Man,
cheese with chicken. Look at you.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if I.
Hold on. What do you say? Hold on. Because you just said I'm gonna have to try it in order for him to try what I want him to try. What do you want him to try?
Well, I'll have to see what you haven't had yet. Because I know for him, he said he ain't had.
Maxwell's?
Yeah, he ain't had Maxwell Street and he ain't had White Castle.
Right.
But you have.
You had Maxwell Street before?
Man,
That's like clearly a Chicago State I never heard of. Yeah.
do you see me? Come on, man. I've had just about.
That's what I'm saying. So I would have to think about something that you haven't had, so that way you could try it. I'm like, yo, this is fire. Something you probably would never want to try on your own.
Okay, for one, I've had Chinese food.
I
just don't eat Chinese food.
Son,
Why don't you eat Chinese food?
Don't like it.
Why?
I don't like it either.
And I don't think it tastes as good as everybody try to make it seem.
Right. I mean,
Especially they fried chicken.
listen,
And I
Fried chicken.
like the orange chicken and stuff
okay,
like
you
that.
gotta go.
Chicken.
No. I don't want
You
to
don't order fried chicken from Chinese spot.
See, you ain't been to the right Chinese spot. Because if you go out there on 69th and Ashland, like right before you hit Justine, it's like a little Asian restaurant. They make.
You're like contradicting yourself right now.
They make chicken. I'm just telling you, they make fried chicken
So
at the
one
Chinese
spot on
spot.
69th and Ashland.
No, it's
fried chicken?
multiple spots that make fried chicken, but a lot of them in the hood. I'm just gonna tell you what it is.
Have you had?
Was it Asian fried chicken
Hey man.
What you saying?
I
It's just a Chinese
It
buddy
wasn't
over there.
KFC,
fried
bro.
chicken.
Like
Have
it
you
wasn't
had-
Popeyes.
Yeah,
man.
I
He's
see.
just making the fried chicken.
Yeah, I'm just saying, bro. Harold's got Asians working in there and Asian fried chicken. It's just it's Harold.
Have you
Hey,
had?
I'm just
Okay,
saying.
so
the
have you
Chinese
had?
restaurant make fried chicken in this night.
Ah!
Ain't the same.
Have you had fusion chicken before? Asian fusion chicken.
What are you saying?
No.
We need to take you to Chris.
Oh, but I like crisp. Crisp
Okay,
fire.
so you had Chris.
Okay, yeah.
So that's fusion.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
that fire.
Yeah.
Crisp, you hit that thing, you go.
Did
You
you
like,
like?
yup.
You don't like spicy. But
I don't.
I bet you got
Should we rewind the tape back to the? You gonna do a flashback? Flashback. You need kicking my foot under the table.
with that ice cream.
Oh, the
He
dog,
was
man.
concentrated.
I really
Man.
wish we had documented you out the car with
Bruh.
like that. Now that would have.
I was so mad when we went to your party. And she was like, "Oh, you was the one that's hanging out there. Is that how you? That's how you chose it?" Alright,
Yeah, because you was the one acting tough the whole time, and then all of a sudden, at the end of it, you was just like,
Hey man, I don't know
That's
what that
funny,
was.
bro.
I think I got ulcers,
funny,
bro.
First of all, because here's the problem. Everybody on the video saw that you handled it like a G, right? They saw me over here eat a whole quart of ice cream.
Cool.
They saw Fred see into different dimensions,
right.
and then yeah, Fred left his body for a minute, okay?
What
And
did
then
you
you
guys
just out here
eat?
chilling muscle. We ate a I didn't show you the video.
No.
We had a what was it called?
Carolina Reaper.
Carolina Reaper pepper.
Oh.
And I'm just gonna say that thing burned on the way out for
See,
sure.
see, I was good for like the initial 15 minutes or something. And then it hit my stomach, yo.
Okay, I agree
eat
with.
spicy though, so.
I love spicy.
Carolina Reaper is the
I-
hottest
I-
pepper in the world.
I love spicy. But
Yeah.
that was like when it hit my stomach, I was a different kind of pain. I ain't never felt like
That's what I'm saying.
pain
Like
in
my
stomach.
mouth was cool. I handled it like a G when I was eating it. That was fine. Like you said, once it hit my stomach though, I don't know how it hit my stomach before it hit your stomach.
So, did you see me? Did you see you? You metabolize food faster than I do. So it took a long while for it to hit, but once it hit, I was like, oh, nah. I ain't know what that was. I ain't even want to go back. It'd be people like, oh, that Carolina Reaper. I was like, you take that on.
You know what I
Oh,
thought about? Because they're like the Mariano's on my job, they got that one chip challenge thing. The chip in the box. So you ain't up for it?
What's on the one chip?
Traumatized,
It's like
bro.
a whole bunch of peppers.
And I ate Carolina Reaper salsa. I've had it in salsa form. Dipped with chip, dipped with quesadilla. Tore it up. Had a jerk chicken, a vegan jerk chicken pasta with Carolina Reaper sauce in it. Bomb. Raw pepper? No. That's different.
I'm eating the chip, bro.
That's different.
I'm eating
You
the
gonna
chip.
eat it?
Yeah.
Hey man, you gonna be slobbing around here, man.
I'm cool. I'm with it. Like with hot
He said
stuff,
I'm with it.
with hot stuff, like for the most part, I'm down to at least try like once or even like a little bite of it. If it's like the whole main thing of it is just spiciness. So I like spicy food.
Real quick. Please tell me y'all saw that video of that old white man eating peppers. Hilarious.
We gotta talk about this. You gotta segue better, G. You
What?
gotta segue.
This
better.
not a segue.
You just be like, hey, hold up the whole conversation. I want to say something completely random.
I gotta, cause it popped. Did you see it? Did you see it though?
There's no transition there.
It ain't one of you. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
You gotta see it.
So going back, like you just said, like
Yeah.
segues and everything. So we got way away from fries.
Fries, yeah, I didn't even get to say my answer yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
So just so we can move things along, I'm gonna just say for the default answer, no, McDonald's is good, but like that, it gotta be like hot. Like if it gets any kind of cold, it is complete utter trash. I would say Burger King fries.
Turn the packing peanuts out there for cold.
Yeah, like I would say Burger King fries, and they're not the best, but at least when they get cold, they're not automatic trash. Like you can at least heat them up at least one good time, and it's still edible.
Burger King fries.
Burger King fries.
I like Burger King hash browns.
better than McDonald's hash browns? Neither here nor there. Not today.
Neither here,
Not
exactly.
today. Not
Exactly.
today. Not today.
The little
Exactly.
circles.
Not
All right,
today.
that's all I'm gonna say. Go ahead.
So for you, what is it? What's the fries?
Rallies/checkers.
Damn, why did I forget about Rallies?
Oh, Rallies has Fred.
No,
Oh, they got them things are colored because they have all that seasoning in them. Them things are, I remember the fry come out yellow, bro. Them things come out orange, bro.
I'm hopping on that bandwagon because I got like a whole pack in the freezer right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, let me take
The
mine
old
back
one.
because y'all just reminded. I'm going Five Guys.
Oh, Five Guys are good too.
Five Guys ain't bad.
Fries ain't bad.
Guys is fine.
Rally's taking the cake, though, bro. That is the most seasoned fry out there. The most crispy. It's not. It's seasoning, crisp.
With the little
All of
circle,
that?
the little curly joint.
That's not curly.
That's
It-
Arby's.
Yeah, Arby's, bro. I'm talking about
Rallies.
Rallies.
Arby's. I ain't never ate Arby's.
Rallies don't have curly fries, bro. Rallies got the straight fry. That joint orange.
Think about
And got pepper in it. Like it's
you
like
ever
pepper
have
flakes in it,
you
bro.
ever have
You
you ever have
excited on the color, bro.
you ever have Popeye fries?
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
then. Well then they look similar to that.
Okay. All right.
But
Okay.
like
Okay.
the color is important because the seasons are on there, bro. Like when you go to Burger King, you go to McDonald's, you go. I'm like it's salt. You just throw salt on it, and that's it.
If you're
Rallies-
lucky, they throw salt on it.
Yes.
You ever got a
Sometimes
batch
they
of
gotta
just dry fries?
be like, what's going on, Vito? Why you taste like that? Yeah,
Ain't nothing worse than getting hot McDonald's fries and no salt on it. It's what are we doing here?
right.
What are we doing here? It's like going to McDonald's and then they telling you like, yo, son, like we ain't got no burgers. We got everything else but burgers. Finally, y'all got the ice cream machine working. We ain't got no burgers.
The fact that this whole episode, half of this episode is gonna be about food, y'all can no longer blame me again. I just want you.
You know what it is? You know what it is, though? I feel like we like food and we are passionate as hell about it. Like, that's the most passionate food and music. Food and music are the most passionate things on this pod that we have ever talked about. Like, we just, like, it just be like an extra battery in our back, just extra charge. Let's
You
just
right.
go off
You
and just start.
You're right. Yeah. As soon as we get talking about it, you right.
I'm not mad about it. It's just that we just got to talk about
I kind
it.
of blame myself.
it just
Like we didn't really start doing this lock in along. I feel like like when I got here is when we really started. We really like
So-
we had like 2 food episodes since I joined, bro.
So earlier in season 2, we talked about what would be rated and underrated. Like we had like a whole episode about that.
You remember this man with his gourmet hot dogs, bro?
Oh.
I'm sorry.
No, for you to know, Maria, the things I so listen. We were having a conversation about hot dogs, and I was just explaining how I cook my hot dogs, right? So I put it on the pan, like they were boiling their hot dogs only. What I did is I put it on the pan, heat that thing up. Okay, I saute some onions. I toast the bun a little bit, and then I put the hot dog in, put the onions in, put some barbecue sauce on it. And like that's how I eat my hot dog. But like I gotta make sure it's charred a little bit on the side too, a little crunchy, right? And they were like, what? Like I don't just boil my hot dog and just throw it in there. Like nah, like I think you were like, you don't boil your hot dogs. I didn't know there's any other way you could do hot dogs. I was like, yeah, nah, bro, throw it in the cast iron.
I know. I know microwave and I know boiler. That's the only way I know about.
I know splitting that joint down the middle, cutting it.
Well, yeah, that. Well, yeah.
But when you say like whole hot dog in it and just
Like, cause like when you cutting it, that's
I
like
ain't
more
know.
like that's more like breakfast type thing. Like I've had that,
like
but like cut in half looking like breakfast stuff. It can be. It's not my bag.
All I know is
When I was at your last kickback or whatnot at your crib,
Yeah.
and you was barbecuing, that was the first time I had like a bun that was like grilled.
word. Okay.
I didn't like it.
Okay.
No, I detested it.
Oh,
But I ate it like a champ though. But I detested it. Yes. No, I wanted salt. I wanted salt, bro. I don't know no crunchy ass
it's a mixture
bun.
of mimosas.
Yeah. You kind of that's wild. Okay.
You're not gonna focus on
It's
the
okay.
negative.
It's okay. It's alright.
We gonna focus on the negative.
Oh, what? Alright, go.
I got excited and said, "Oh, look, you got my food," and then you said,
We gonna
"What?"
focus on the negative.
Right.
I said the bun. I ain't say nothing about nothing else you cook. I said the bun.
You right.
No. That felt like a doctor Like, sorry. Come on, man. Segue into the day.
So, what's today's date?
The 21st.
It's
October 21st. Fall is coming. It's getting cold. What are you excited about with the cold season coming?
Why would you ask me this?
I'm gonna need you to speak up a little louder. I'm gonna need you to speak a little louder, but what are you excited about the cold? Like, there's the cold season's coming. There's a lot to be not excited about. But what do you want? What are you excited about?
I'm excited for the holidays.
Okay,
That comes with the winter.
that's a very cliche answer. I want a little better, like, meaty answer.
I'm a family person. I'm family oriented.
Okay,
I enjoy being with my family. I have a huge family. I am Latina, so we're all loud. We enjoy being around each other, and that comes with the cold. The warmth of the family
okay,
and the cold. Yeah.
all right. What about you, Darius?
I'm ready to drink pumpkin spice latte like a suburban soccer mom, bro. Like, I cannot. Man, I sent the picture to this group chat, and they had like Future dressed up with all them moms. And he like smack that talking about some me when I realized I'm like pumpkin spice. That's me. No kids. I'm ready. I'm ready for pumpkin spice scones from Starbucks. They need to bring them immediately.
They already have them. Pumpkin spice.
It's time, bro. It's October, B.
They had.
It been had.
Because I missed it last year. I was sick.
Yeah.
I went to 5 different Starbucks. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I was late to work because I went to 2 different Starbucks on the way to work trying to get me some scones.
Some
Like,
scones.
Dang, bro. Hey, shout out Starbucks. We need that sponsorship.
oh man, I should have named drop. Yeah.
Nah, it's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late.
Give my
but
man some stones.
pumpkins, but don't ever discontinue them. I don't know what's wrong with
It's like,
y'all.
no, I might have to check that out, honestly.
What?
I said I might have to check it out. Because the drink, I can't do it. I can't do the drink.
Why?
Can't do the drink.
What's
I
wrong with
can't
it?
do it, bro. I can't
The
do it.
cold one?
I just get this feeling inside of my body as it enters my body, and my body wants to reject it.
Hey man,
You're being dramatic.
I'm ready for the big sweaters.
Semi-honest.
You feel me?
Huh?
Big sweaters. I'm ready for it.
Big sweaters?
Big when they hang off your your collarbone a little bit, but not your shoulder.
Oh, you probably oversized. Wait.
Yeah.
You sound like...
I'm ready.
Hey, why you sound...
plaid, button
Why
up
you
shirts, bro.
Why
I'm
you sound like
ready.
Forever 121 ad, bro? What you
Yeah,
doing,
man,
bro?
man, I'm just ready.
So I went off the
You
shelf.
don't know
off
fall
the
like that,
jacket
man.
off the
You
shelf.
feel me? Like,
Wow, bro.
you know what I'm saying? Hoodies. What about you?
I'm excited to buy my first coat as an adult.
Hey, it's a big deal.
And no, see, all right, let me get back to it, right? Because he's looking at me like, I've been doing hoodies only since 7th grade.
So what, you just double up on a hoodie?
Double up or just single hoodie and just wear a sweater up underneath the hoodie.
Okay.
You know, and that's what I've been doing.
Okay.
I decided since I'm turning 30 this year, I need to grow up a little bit, you know what I mean? And actually get like a coat like an adult. And I'm not necessarily, I'm excited for it, at the same time I'm not, because like, I got real bad experience with coats. So my mom, right, like a lot of moms, you know what I'm saying, when they don't have money like that,
Yeah.
they'll get you a coat, but they'll get it a couple of sizes bigger for you to grow into it, so that way they don't have to spend money. You know what I mean?
I recall days like this.
So, and this isn't a knock to you, right? I don't want you to take this as disrespect, right? This is all love, okay? I'm just using this as a visual example.
Okay.
Cool. So, imagine me,
Yes.
look shorter, right?
Yes.
Because I'm in elementary school at this point. I'm shorter, right?
Right.
Skinnier.
Yes.
My mom bought me an Eskimo coat.
Yes.
You could have fit the Eskimo coat.
That's tough.
And I was just like, why am I wearing
You
this?
walk around like Michigan around that bitch. That's hilarious.
So that way, that's the reason why I've just been rocking hoodies ever since I was able to. I was like, no, I'm not doing coats. I'm not. Why? I got trauma.
Yeah, there you go.
Like I was already getting teased at school enough, but me showing up with an Eskimo coat. You know what I'm saying? Like it was hard to move in, bro. Like it was just it. I remember, bro.
Do you remember this?
I remember me walking somewhere and somebody's looking like, damn, kid, you buff as hell. And I'm just like, and in my head, I'm just like, no, I'm not. I am nowhere near buff. So yeah, like I'm gonna get a coat.
I'm trying to picture this.
Son, I wish I still had it. I had it maybe still like.
I got you. 8th grade, 7th. Started here a bunch of NBA coaches. Remember?
I wasn't allowed to have one, but yeah, I remember.
Okay. Started here the Hornets.
Yeah.
Remember, it was blue.
Blue, purple.
Super blue.
I had a little bug on it,
But it was
a little mascot.
And it was like big brown puffy coat.
Yeah.
My dad bought me that coat. I was already a bad kid. Bad kid. A big brown puffy blue coat. How many times I got called a black blueberry like
Man, it's rough, but no, I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to my birthday because last year was supposed to be my golden birthday. COVID knocked all that out of the way,
Right.
so I wasn't able to do nothing. So I'm making up for my golden birthday and for me turning 30 this year. 30's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's people today and didn't even make it to 30. You know what I'm saying? So like that's a big deal. And I got a name for it and everything. It's gonna be office party. It's gonna be nice, bro.
Office party?
Yes.
Like the office? Or
yes,
like
from the office.
the
So,
office?
yes.
Oh, bet. Well,
And I'm buying myself a suit to top it off.
you gotta make a rule. You know that, right?
What's the deal?
I'm glad you can't be Daryl.
I mean, no. I mean, like you. Okay.
I'm
not
gonna
doing
beat the white, man. It ain't even no.
That's fair.
If that's what you want to do, if you want it to be like that, then you can. But like, I'm just gonna. Bruh.
Yo! I'm coming as Pam. Yo! I'm coming as Pam, bruh. Coming as Pam.
I wanted to be Creed, and then I'm like,
I have a confession.
Oh,
you
shoot.
never watched The Office?
No, that's fine if you have it. But if you say you hate the office,
Let her confess. Let her confess.
All right, go ahead.
Can you finish your sentence?
No. Oh.
This has been another episode of Shut the Five.
Oh, no!
It's Darius. It's Cam.
Oh, no.
It's Maria.
Oh, no.
Um,
You ready?
yes, it's, like I always say, man, take care of one another.
You're wild, bro.
You kind of want to
You wink at the camera? You never wink at the camera. You wink at the camera. Oh, no. Maria, confess your heart.
Go ahead.
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Okay. See, I tried to watch The Office several times. This also might be a trauma thing because my ex, he loved The Office. So now every time I try to rewatch it, it's like, ugh, get away from me.
Okay,
But
that's
I also don't think it's that funny.
You see how I gave her an out? I was like, okay, that's understandable. Your ex, you got memories, trauma. I get that. But then I also don't believe.
Okay, but I've only gotten to 3 episodes in, and I'm pretty sure everyone that watches it say you have to go further than that.
Yes, absolutely.
I
That's like judging a book by its cover, which we all do.
I disagree.
You think the opposite isn't funny either?
Okay,
disagree.
don't
I
cover
watched
his
it.
name.
I watched it a bunch of times. Here's the thing. You don't have to go in order.
Oh, really?
I think most people get that, like, yeah, they think it's like a storyline to it, and it's absolutely
Yeah,
You
but
really
there
don't.
That
is.
kind of is though. Jim and Pam are a storyline,
Yeah.
bro.
Okay,
Well,
You
Jim
just jumping
and Pam,
around, you're gonna be like
Michael and Janice. What's
Jan.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Janice.
Janet, see, he don't even know.
So
But-
is
Oh,
there?
man, trying to help you. Hey, trying to help you.
Hey, you know
Like,
what?
Because it's not.
So-
it's
so-
not that memorable.
So there.
Sorry.
Oh, keep going. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate what you're doing. I see.
I will try. Can I make a promise?
Like Parks and Rec.
He liked that too.
So
Okay,
do
but
you?
I never tried Parks and Rec.
You might actually like that.
If you like Parks and
You
Rec,
might actually like
Okay,
that.
but let me just promise. I will try again.
don't do this.
Okay.
No, I will. I will try again. I will
hold
try.
You, Cam will hold you to it.
I will.
Have you written in your journal? Okay, never mind.
Do you still owe me three or something?
You have a job?
You brought me a journal. For my
I
birthday.
did.
Yes, and I do still have it.
What do I owe you?
3 of something that we're not gonna talk
Oh.
about. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Before you do this, let me present this. So if you're gonna make this promise, right, to give it another try,
Okay.
we're gonna have you back on here in December to check up on you
Yes.
because it's October.
But it's true.
Tell you what.
Okay, wait.
Can I make
by,
an addendum?
No.
Addendum.
So
What do we
Spin
mean by
addendum?
try? What?
Here's what we're gonna do. Okay. You are an artist,
Okay.
talented artist, I would say. Okay. I know you don't like
Thanks.
affirmations, but yeah, for sure. Here's the thing. When your art show next art show comes around, we're gonna have you on the pod. So you can promote an art show. Get you know what I mean? We're gonna do.
Okay.
So we'll give you that your deadline. By the next time you
Okay.
come on the air, promote the what's it called? The art show that you gotta have these done, okay? December's kinda
Okay.
scary, that's daunting. But when you know you got something to do, So you gotta
How
do something.
far into the show?
You must go at least
no, I mean like, listen, I'm not gonna tell you gotta watch the whole thing, right? I'm going to tell you this. I'm gonna give you a pass from me. So
you got an idea.
you got an idea?
Yes.
Go ahead.
3 of us give her 1 episode to watch.
That's good.
We'll do that off there. But like,
because I was gonna give you 3 episodes anyway. Not me personally give you 3 episodes, but like, yo, you just choose whatever 3 episodes. You know what I mean? And watch it. You don't like it, you don't like it. That's cool. Whatever.
we'll give you the 3
But-
episodes.
3 episodes, yeah.
And
Okay.
we'll figure it out.
I'll do that.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Sounds
Sounds
like
good.
a plan.
Sounds good. But
Let me tell you what mine is already. When they had that office party, when they had the stamps of the cultures on their forehead,
That's
and
the first
they had to guess
Yeah.
who was who. Ah, that's the one you know about.
that's the first
Alright.
one.
Hilarious.
I know Cam mentioned that you do art shows, and part of why you're here is to be interviewed, obviously. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
So one, I'm an artist. I went to art school for photography. I got a degree in fine art. So a little bit of everything. I love photography, but I do painting, drawing, what is it? Performance art. I recently just did a performance piece, but I also have a business back home, and
Where's home?
Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne.
The Fort.
You're an Indiana?
Yeah. I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And then moved to Indianapolis. So I like to say that's my home too. But yeah, I have a business back home. We put on art shows, performing and visual artists. We just bring them all together and put on the show.
That's dope.
I used to stay in Huntington.
Okay.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah.
That was scary for the month that I was there.
I can understand that.
So how long have you been doing these shows?
It's our 4th year. So yeah, we started off in a little office space. My business partner's mom, she had a little office space, and we just did. It was a 3-person art show. And then yeah, now we're
That's dope.
Yeah.
So like, as far as like pieces, like, so what, like as far as the performing arts pieces, like, what would you say is like maybe your favorite piece to perform?
So I've only performed one piece specifically. We bring in a lot of performing artists that do music, spoken word, but me specifically, I've done an art piece, a performing art piece that was about my culture, and this traditional Mexican dress that's been passed down from my aunts, and so I basically just like danced around in it. A traditional Mexican dance called folklorico dancing, and I just like danced around and ended up handing out flowers to the audience, just kind of inviting them into my culture, my space. And, so yeah.
So, me and you are good friends. So I'm gonna ask a little bit of personal question in terms of like I know that somebody who inspiration for you and somebody that you inspiration is like a strong word, but like Frida Kahlo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who inspires you a lot. Like, tell me about how you like what you see when you see her and how she inspires you today.
Yeah, so something I really love about Frida Kahlo is how vulnerable she was in her artwork. A lot of her artwork was about pain and the suffering that she went through. She dealt with a lot with her husband, but also like, was in a bus accident. She hurt her back, so she couldn't walk. So a lot of times she was like laying in her bed, like looking up at a mirror and painting herself. But like a lot of that reflected onto her artwork. And I think for me, a lot of things that I've gone through in life reflect in my artwork. I don't think I talk about it a lot, other than in my artwork. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
As a fellow artist, I know that there's these moments sometimes when you create something where you have there's this great feeling of like exhale, right? Whether or not it's the best thing you ever created or it's gonna impact a lot of people that, but for you personally, it was just finishing it was such an exhale. Like, what is there a piece that comes to mind when you think about a piece that you put together that really allowed you to exhale?
I don't know that there's like a specific piece. I feel like I'm always not finished. I feel like I can always add to it, but I think it's when somebody can look at my art piece and truly understand what I'm thinking and feeling, and then they talk to me about it, and I haven't said anything to them.
Yeah.
I think that's the exhale for me.
Gotcha.
To add on to that, so you said that it makes you feel good when they're able to understand exactly what you're trying to convey. Have you had somebody come up to you and tell you what they saw, and it wasn't even what you were trying to get across? You was like, I didn't think about it that way. Like, have you ever had one of those?
Yeah. I actually love that too. I love hearing other people's point of view and what they see in my artwork because it's a part of me in them, and how they feel interacting with me, if that makes sense.
Oh no, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm an artist too, so like I totally get it. I totally understand it. I love that. Like I think I love that more than them getting exactly what I was trying to convey. Like it's just dope to see another person's perspective. You know what I mean?
And somebody can be going through something right then and there in their life, and your artwork can touch them in ways that you had no idea. And I love that a lot.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't want to change the topic too early, but I kind of want to ask a roundtable question if y'all don't mind.
Can I ask my question? Run back. Let me ask you this: there's vulnerability, obviously something that you express in your art. Can you explain the best you can with words what it's like, the tension of being vulnerable while also like there's just a tension within the vulnerability where you just express a little bit with words how that feels?
Yeah. I think a lot of my artwork is confrontational as well. So I do, in college, I did a lot of work on politics because that had a lot to do with me being Latina and Donald Trump in office. And so I did a lot of artwork based on that. And I don't like confrontation. Like, I don't like it when I have to face it, like, verbally. But through my artwork, I love it. I love sitting back and listening to other people's point of views and talking about, because I don't have to say anything. Like, I don't have to face that. So I think maybe that's the tension that I feel. What are people going to think? How are they going to feel? How are they going to react? Are they going to get it? So, yeah.
Well, I was just going to ask, kind of something not far off topic from that. So, given the fact that all of y'all are like really much creatives, like, what would you say? How can I phrase this? Give me your process in that goes in creating. So for you, like your art pieces, you like your poetry, your music, or whatever it is you do. Like, what is the kind of atmosphere you set? Is there a certain kind of like mood that you have to be in when you create? You know, is there a certain mindset you like to have? Just something like that.
Yeah. So recently I did a piece about my grandma, and right now she has cancer. And so I think I just automatically turned on the art switch, and I just went into painting mode, and I just like started process. I didn't have anything, no music. Like I didn't call anyone. I just picked up the paintbrush and just like drew what I was feeling and I ended up painting a brain and a heart, and just like, started painting that. But I don't know that there's any process. I think every piece is different. For me personally, sometimes I like to just put on like lingerie, or just some like vibe music, but it really just depends on the mood or why I'm making the piece.
So for me, my process, I got a lot of processes, man. It used to be me just listening to sad music, sad songs. It's like my art, my poetry, it focuses on like pain, heartbreak, not the happy-go-lucky stuff. I mean, I write happy-go-lucky stuff, but the world isn't 100% happy-go-lucky, right? It's real. So there are going to be times we got to deal with heartbreak and pain. So I write about it from that place, and then also write it from the place of overcoming that. You know what I mean? So for me, how it goes now is like I can listen to a song and then just get in the mood, like how you said, like listen to Janae or something. But what it's been really doing for me right now, it's just me. It's just me listening to, not listening to, but like I can hear something, and then like it'll be like a phrase or something, and I can break it down. I'll be like, yo, that's the title of the poem right there, and I just go off that. Like, let me see if I can find it real.
So you start with titles and then right?
For the most part, what I've been doing lately, yes, that's how it's been going. So I give you two examples, right? So I was not listening. I was talking to my friend, and he was saying like how he has a good memory, and how he knows things about heart. And then I just thought about it. I just singled that out, and I was just like, about heart. How can I do something like creative with that? And I thought about like, all right, cool. I can create a poem based off of getting to know a girl, right? But getting to know her so well that it's my heart. So So it'd be like a double entendre with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I do it with that. And then another one, The Walking Dead, which would be a play on, you know, a relationship that's dead but it's walking. You know what I'm saying? So like things like that, it inspires me to be like, yo, I can write about something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can write about this topic and everything else like that. So that's my writing process been like lately.
I say to myself, man, music has this like evokes an emotion, right? And so every time I hear a beat, or I run to the emotion that I feel and try to write as fast as I can, kind of thing. It's kind of crazy because like, but what happens is like I feel that emotion so strongly, and I just try to run to it and like, boom, let me get everything out that I feel right now. And those are the moments where I find myself the most successful with getting out that emotion, that thought. The hardest part is coming back to it and trying to refine that same feeling, because sometimes you listen to a song one day, it makes you feel one way. You listen to a song a different day, it's an entirely different way. So you're sitting there like, man, how do I invoke that feeling? So I think that, like, honestly, that's my creative process relies heavily on my emotions, which is great for certain moments, but horrible for other ones. When I'm trying to revisit something, and I'm like, I can't find that emotion anymore because I've grown. You know what I mean? Like I've grown. I've felt that pain. I've moved, and I've tried to move forward, right? Because to linger in it would do myself a little bit more damage than going away from it. But for the sake of the art, I almost want to stay in that space to be able to complete this piece of art. And that's a challenge I deal with like constantly. I'm like, man, like that one time, like I think about that heartbreak. Dang, that hurt. So I get a verse down about the heartbreak, right? And I come back to that like 3 days later, and I'm like, hey, I'm feeling all right now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you know, like. Because and part of it was getting it all on the page to begin with. So now I've done it, and I'm like, all right, I feel a lot better now. I can't revisit that spot the way I had it before because it's not as raw anymore. So yeah, man, I don't know. It's been like something on my brain trying to figure out. So my favorite, like, that's why like right now, like I'm trying to figure out a collaborative project with some friends because I feel like it'd be a lot of fun to be able to focus on that one verse and honing in that thing in one way. Because trying to think verse, chorus, verse can be so like hindering because by the first verse that comes out might be the first verse of the second verse of the song, but then that's whatever follows after that has to fall in line with that first thing that I did, and I find myself having a hard time getting back to that. But when I work with other people, I don't have to worry about it. I can just like leave it out there and then let other people bring their own thoughts into it, and that's like the fun stuff. That's fun for me. That's fun and the most easy. Doing it by myself is the most difficult because I'm so critical of myself, and I'm like, dang, I gotta come back and make sure these two things line up. Whereas if the other guy says something that doesn't line up with what I said, that's fine with me. It just be what he brings to it, you know. So yeah, that's my process. It was very emotional driven. So,
I have a question for you. Do you think being around artists, you can tap into that creativity?
It's a question I've never thought of. I would not foresee myself answering something like that. Okay, let me give it a shot. As far as I know, I believe some things can be rubbed off, not me. I believe certain people, I believe everybody in the world is born with a certain, well, let me say it like this. If I think about it, everybody is born with a certain artistic talent, whether we consider it art or not. But how it's communicated to the society beyond that person is interpreted in different ways. So, whereas somebody might be good at drawing, there's another person that's really apt at painting. But the drawing is not lessened because there's somebody that can just paint really well. It's just you do two things differently, but they both consider it the same because if you paint, you draw. That's how I look at it. But past me, it looks different to society. So I would say no, because I have a brother who draws really good, and I used to try to draw after him. Like this is like famous place, Gallery 13. He applied for when he was young, and I tried to draw after him, but none of the stuff I drew matched. But it inspired me to think in an artistic kind of, like in an artist, an artistic way. So it was about finding, what art I excelled at. but it just happens to be a lot different than putting a pen to a paper. So I think of it like that.
I like how you're talking to all three of us like you don't do art as well. You do poetry.
Well, I
That
mean,
is art.
You play you play guitar.
I mean, yeah,
You did spoken word on one of my albums.
yeah, but
And what you just explained, I feel like answers yes. That
But-
you can tap into that because my work doesn't look like yours
okay.
means that yes, you can, but it just doesn't look different.
So I'm gonna let you see me from my mind. When I hear tap into, I think mimic. I think mimic to the point of, you know,
Okay.
concise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drawing. So that's how
Yeah.
I just
Gotcha.
picture. But in general, like tap into like just the ability. Yeah, I think it's called. I think a better word for it for me is inspiration.
Yeah.
You can inspire somebody to do something. Cam wrote a verse and it was hard. It inspired me to write a verse. I don't rap,
Yeah.
but it was like, all right, yeah, it was like, man, that was hard. Yeah, let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
Like, but that was it. Like, but I believe it's inspiration. It's almost addicting and contagious if you
Yeah.
actually think about it. But I did want to ask another question. When did you know you wanted, not just wanted to be an artist as an adult, but when did you know you had a talent for what you do?
I've always loved art since I was really little. But I think when other people started telling me that I could do something with it is when I started believing in myself. I just felt like it wasn't supposed to be seen in the beginning, and that my work was just my work for me only, and this is how I express my feelings. But then when other people started seeing it and relating to it and understanding it, is when I decided that I should share. And there's still times when I don't share my artwork because that's for me, but yeah, I think that's when I considered myself an artist, was when other people can relate through my work.
For sure. For sure.
Would not know I had talent for it.
Yeah.
Man,
It had to be like a school performance or something.
Yeah,
Come on.
it was. Definitely
It
was.
a talent show.
Definitely was. I think, what was it, 10th grade is when I first started performing my own stuff. And I think that was the first time I had that first song I ever wrote and performed like that was like that invigorating feeling. I was like, oh, I want to do this for a long time. Then I feel like I got affirmation that made me feel like I really did a good job. I think the first performance of my senior year, I wrote a song the entire summer. I just worked on it the entire summer. Like I come back to it, So I knew once like senior year started, first performance, I was gonna do it. So I prepared for it like crazy. When it came out time to do it, I just killed it. I just knew I killed it. Like I knew it but I had tried so hard that I knew and so at the end of that performance I just kind of knew I was like oh shoot, like in the way the affirmation came from everybody else around that too was just like, yeah, no, I got the sauce. Like I know I can pull this off for real. It's less about if, more about when kind of thing for me. And I've kind of felt that I've always, you get your doubts inside that here and there, but I've always kind of felt like, especially in the last like two years or so like that, it's just like, man, it's less about if, more about when. But when I get locked, like when I'm able to get locked in, have the time to figure it out like that, like this stuff will take off in some kind of way. I'm not gonna be Drake or nothing like that, but like it's gonna come together.
You could be better than Drake.
Oh, I appreciate that, but we'll see. Time will tell. But all I know is that like I'm fairly confident that as long as like the Lord seems to like guide my opportunities and stuff like that, and I give this like real effort, real time like that. But this is a matter of time before things start to pan out.
Madonna said it again. What about you?
So for me, it's kind of weird because I remember back in 3rd grade when I was introduced to poetry, right? It was like lovey-dovey stuff. And at that time, in my head, as a kid, I'm like, don't want to deal with this. I don't want to work with this. I don't want to do none of this. And then we fast forward a couple of years, I think about 5th or 6th grade, I wrote like my first novel. And the only person that read it ever was my mom. But she said like, yo, it was phenomenal. Back then, my mom's phenomenal was like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be famous one day. You know what I'm saying? It's different like if you were to hear it now, like, oh baby, this is so good, like, thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like how it goes. But we go even fast forward to like my freshman year, and I remember I was just bored in class, and I just wrote something, and I was like, this seems like a poem. You know what I mean? Like I think I was attempting to try to write a rap, like I was bored in class, but I didn't have no music to go with it, and I couldn't think of no beat. But I was just like, okay, this seems more like a poem. And I remember putting it on Tag. Do you remember Tag back in the day?
Yeah.
So I put it on Tag. I put it on my page, and then girls just started commenting on it, liking it, messaging me about like, oh, this is cute, write me a poem, all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, you like this?
Came for you.
Word. I'm like,
Word.
all right, bet, cool. Y'all like it? I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I'm just
You like it, I love it.
like I'm just a nerdy kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I done got teased and everything. Exactly. I done got teased and everything. So it's like, yo, like I don't have nothing of interest to you anyway. But if these words work, listen, I'm with it. You know what I mean?
It's the inside school thing.
But like, it took for me to get into my first relationship and have that first heartbreak, and then for me to start writing, for me to know that I like really, really had a gift for it. Like people would tell me like when I was writing, when I was in a relationship, before I was in a relationship, like, yo, you're good. And I'm like, whatever, bro. Like this is for the girls, bro. Like I don't care what you like. I'm good. That's cool. Like I'm not trying to make this no career. You know what I'm saying? This is going to lead me to a girlfriend. That was the goal.
Yeah.
That was the end goal for the poetry. And it wasn't until after, you know what I'm saying, the heartbreak and stuff that I started writing that people was just like, yo, I feel the pain that you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can really understand this. You know what I mean? And then, like, one of those days, like, I had a friend that told me, like, they were going to commit suicide. For some reason, they read my poem, like, maybe an hour or two before they figured they was going to do it. They were like, reading your poetry made me not feel alone, which turned out made me not want to commit suicide. And at that point, I was like, all right, this is a gift. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do something with it. And then that's how the ball pretty much got the rolling with it. You know what I'm saying? Like poetry albums, books, all this other stuff.
Real quick, I want to put this little story. So I met him. It was like what, senior?
2010, 2009, 2009, 2010, one of those.
So man, I go to this man's crib. I see this. It's like a little piece of paper on the wall, and it got this title on it. It's like a bunch of words. It's like, what's that? He's like, oh man, this poem I wrote. Nah, he don't like for me to tell the other half of this story.
I don't remember none of this.
Don't
Cool.
tell that.
Can I tell?
No,
It's not
don't tell.
embarrassing.
No, you can tell. You can tell the whole thing. I don't
Cool.
remember this.
So, the poem was called Jupiter Love.
And his face died.
So
I knew it was gonna happen. I tried to tell her. I said, "Nah, don't tell the rest of the story." But I knew. As soon as you knew.
I don't remember the poem. Thank God. But he was like, man. I'm like, man. Oh man, what was you like? Inspired by like the Trey Songz? Trey Songz song? He's like, nah, I wrote that before the Trey Songz song. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, these like the lyrics. Like a little bit. Like, what do you mean? Like, this man wrote song, the whole thing. He like, I ain't gonna say he stole it. But I'm serious. But I was just like it was like the resemblance. I wish he still had the resemblance is uncanny. For him to have write it years prior, and then for him to write the song, like I'm like, nah, bro, he read that, bro.
That's funny.
So the song stole it, man.
I
I ain't accusing him. I don't know, but that's how I was saying
Shout out
it.
Trey Songz.
Shout out Trey.
Give Fred his reparations.
Right, man. Just give him his, his little royalties.
He wants his restitution.
I don't remember putting that up. I remember putting it on Facebook. Like, that's what I did. Like, for a long stretch of time, I think for like my whole entire senior year, every day I wrote like a poem or two, and I put it up on like the Facebook note section, which don't even exist no more. But that's what I did. I remember putting it up there, but actually writing it out and putting it on the wall, yeah, I don't remember that. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying like, yo, I don't remember that.
I remember being on the wall. But that's why it was weird, because it was like when I first met, like the beginning of our friendship, and then like that was the first thing I began to know about you. It was your artistic talent for poetry. And it was like, word, I had stopped writing. You know, after I wrote a couple girls, the love letters, got a couple of relationships together, and I was cool like in like 5th grade. So I was like, I was a cool guy that hooked a couple people up and poems. But after that, like I just stopped. I didn't care for it. It wasn't in that interview. So when I seen him and I seen that poem, I was like, yo. So to answer your question, I said inspiration for sure. Like I think art can definitely inspire. Is it like I think it becomes about what's your strong suit, because my strong suit isn't writing. It's not those kind of arts. Like my artistic talent is in the physical. So it's different. But
let me ask y'all this. Because he just brought up like an interesting point. This happens to me like all the time. When you talk about your art with other people, do you have those people that be like, yo, I used to do that when I was younger, but I stopped? Like, has you met anybody who's like, yo, I used to rap too, but that was back when I was younger, but I stopped rapping because whatever happened in life? Or with you and your art, your drawing and stuff like that?
Yeah, that happens all the time. I just try to encourage people. I think it's also important to take breaks, which I'm actually just getting off of one here soon. I stopped. I had a show, and then I decided I needed a break for a little bit. So I can understand if people don't want. It takes a lot to like put your work out there and to just keep it going, be your own boss as an artist in general. But yeah, I do. A lot of people say that.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, like, yo, I used to do this, I used to write, I don't do it no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't as good as yours. Like, I couldn't imagine myself sharing. I'm like, you don't have to share. You know what I'm saying? Like, all art ain't meant to be shared. Like, it's up to the artist's discretion of if they want to share it or not. You know what I mean? Like how you say, like I always encourage them. It's like, yo, you can still write. The only person that gonna want to read it be just you, or whoever you decide you want to be read by. You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't have to. The stop doesn't have to be permanent. That's what I try to let them know. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something that you want to do still, then do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you. It's not like a writing contest or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just writing it for you. You know what I mean? Because art is a way to express yourself. It's like, it's what I thought about yesterday, what I think about art. Creating art would be like inhaling and then releasing the art would be like exhaling. It's like breathing. At least that's how it feels like to me. I don't know if it feels like that for y'all, but it's like when I'm writing and when I'm creating, it's just like, yo, I'm taking in all of these inspirations and like all of these muses and like everything to create it. And then when it's done, it's just like, all right, I can breathe now. Like I can exhale, I can let it all go. Regardless of whether I'm sharing with somebody or not, most of the time I am sharing with some other people, but like, it's like, all right, it's out now. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about it.
did peep your Instagram, right?
Which one?
And I watched the dancing performance.
Oh, did you?
Let me ask you this question. What is the nerves like to be up there performing like that? Because I've only performed on the stage once. I was terrified. And I don't know how people, like, that was it. Like, that was as far as I went. It was like, once, nah, I'm cool. Like, I don't, like, do you always have that tension when you, like, performing? Or is it, like, does it change? Like, do you get used to it? Like, what is it?
I mean, I haven't performed a lot. I think that performance happened twice. But I was in a choir growing up. I'm still very connected to them. But when I did perform, it was still nerves. Like, maybe that's just who I am or how I am with my emotions and feelings and just get tense. It is. I mean, but it is something else to be like the only person that everyone's looking at, and then you're also telling your story in your art, in your performance. So, yeah, that makes it 100 times more nerve-wracking.
To answer the question before, the fear and the weight of it. So when people say like they rap, I realize I block that out because two things happen for me when I hear people like say something to me like that, like, oh, I used to rap, but I stopped it, right? The fear of becoming like them. I'm like, oh, like one day I'm gonna stop rap, like I'm gonna stop rapping like that because like life hit me or like stuff happened. I just the fear of that, and then the second is the weight of it, right? Because then the weight is almost carrying it for them too, like now. Because I hear these people who had this dream and let it go, and I'm still over here, like still holding the torch, and I'm like, dang, like knowing that like I'm trying to carry this and that, but thinking about all the people who came before me who didn't make it, like up the mountain kind of thing like that. It's like, man, that's extra weight on my shoulders. So I realized I had to block that out. Like honestly, I'm just like, man, when I hear that, like I feel bad for those people by that, but I had to block them out. Can't remember their name, can't remember their face, can't remember like the moment it was said. I know what's happened before, but I block it out because it's too much weight for me. Like I can't do what I have to do as a creator with all of that on me because that's just how I wear it. I can't not wear it. I can't do it any other way. I am who I am, right? So when it comes to performing though, bro, that is always a place of like nerves because you want to do well. And I don't know that it's always a lack of confidence that makes you worry about that. It's just always like a awareness that things can go wrong, right? But I think there's a certain amount of adrenaline you got to be able to like have when it comes to performing like that, and like almost like you got to want to have that too to drive you through the entire thing. That's like I've heard like people who perform like they perform and they can't sleep the whole night after that, right? Basketball players who play a game and they can't sleep the night after the game because they were on for the last 3 hours, and then like that stuff is still in them. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, man. There's a certain part of it though. If I didn't have the nerves and like, I don't know that I would want to do it. It's like that rush that you gotta almost want it a little bit. And that's probably the crazy side of being an artist, where you're like, you kind of want that rush, even though like it's killing you inside. Like hours before you go on like that, days, maybe even days, weeks before you gotta do what you gotta do. But the moment that it hits and you get to kill it and you get to finish the thing, you get to walk off, you're just like, man, I could like sleep for 3 days now. But dang, for those 3 hours, I felt like me at my purest. And so, yeah.
So, before we wrap up, let me get to this. So, I saw Judas, Black Messiah.
Finally, did you see it? No, it's okay. That's all right. It's all right. It happens. I expect nothing less. You know what I mean?
So
You real good at that. I think I'll be safe. I'll be safe.
now that we can have this discussion, do you mind if we have this
Go
discussion?
ahead. Come talk to me about it.
Referring to Judas and Black Messiah. For anybody who have been,
Have you seen it? You did, okay.
That's
Not yet.
You should watch.
It came out a while ago, but yeah.
It's short. Yeah, it's cool. But we have a saga about this thing. It's about to close.
So
Can we mourn this still? Like we're about to end the saga. I mean, I guess you still gotta watch it, but like
ain't that big?
well, it's been a year. We've been talking about this, man. And you finally saw it, man. I'm so proud of you.
what did you think about the movie?
No, I want to hear what you thought about the movie. I've been waiting for a year. I'm not gonna like your take. I can tell by your face, man. Drop that. Drop it. Let's go.
The acting was superb.
Absolutely.
The video work, like how they shot it and everything, how it was phenomenal. The presentation was phenomenal. And my problem doesn't necessarily stem from the movie. It stems from the story it was telling.
Okay.
Because was everything in it 100% factual? To your knowledge, to your best of your
Well,
knowledge?
best of my knowledge, is supposed to be as factual as possible.
Cool. So I didn't know a lot about Fred Hampton or the Black Panthers. I mean, I know what I needed to know about it
Yeah.
because I'm not oblivious to it.
Right.
I'm black. I grew up in Chicago.
Oh,
Like this is part of history, right? I just didn't like it because I knew what was coming already. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so, for me, knowing what was coming and knowing it was going to be sad, it was just like I don't know, man. It was like a kid at a doctor's just waiting for them to like stick the needle or to like prick the finger. Like you know it's coming.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, like the whole experience, them acting, like everything was like phenomenal. It's just like the story was just like, yo, I know what's gonna happen. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but he's gonna get killed. He's gonna get assassinated, whatever you want to call it, and it's gonna be like I don't know, bro. Like it's not black trauma porn. It's not that.
Ooh.
It's
Not
not.
I've never heard before, and I don't like it.
Have you heard of Lena Waithe,
Yes.
the person that made or produces The Child? Okay, have you seen the show that she got on Amazon?
What's it called?
I think it's called You or something like that. I don't know. It's something. It's something that's in the realm of like Us. She tried to make a TV version of Us or something like that.
Yep. Yeah.
So in the show, she has a scene where a baby is like shredded, ripped apart, and whatnot. Black baby.
Gotcha.
Son, there's no need for that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? There's a whole list of reasons why I don't necessarily like Lena, but we're gonna table that, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, like that would be an example of like some black trauma porn stuff like that, right?
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Judas and the Black Messiah is not that.
Right. Yeah.
It's just I prefer to see if I'm going to watch a movie about our people.
Yeah.
I would much rather like it on a lighter tone. Like it can have the drama, it can have the suspense and stuff like that, but it puts us in a better light. I don't want to see us gunned down. I don't want to see us assassinated like that. For me personally, like I said, it's a personal thing. It's not about the movie per se. It's about the personal thing. But other than that, I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought about the movie. I feel like I bet the best movies from there are the ones that make the villain make you empathetic toward the villain, right? Sympathetic toward the villain, right? If you can figure that out, right? And to a certain extent, it almost felt like in Judas and the Black Messiah, there was like, was there a villain, or was there like two protagonists who had two things, like who had two separate goals, like colliding with one another? You know what I mean?
It's like Game of Thrones.
It was just. I never watched Game of Thrones, but I should. but I felt like it articulated the pain I feel inside my heart as a black man, knowing what I know about our history, knowing what I know about my everyday life, but putting that into this movie because essentially you have the duality of these two characters who like both have to do what they have to do, but one person's has to ruins another person's has to. You know what I mean? At that like. And I don't know. I just appreciate. I always like historical movies. I like how they interpret like what happened and like give it to us in an artistic light. And I just find like this movie did it in a very beautiful way. And knowing how the story was going to end, obviously there was that pain in that, but it felt as honest as possible. Like, I didn't feel like there was this. Even like let's say like the grand villain in the story is like white people essentially, right? It's essentially kind of what it is, like that white people, white government, right? Essentially like that, right? Because when you get down to it, there's just this fear that if this thing ever grows enough like that, or if this man ever actually gets like the support, or like he gets the backing, yeah, right, the backing like that, like if he gets his voice gets amplified any more like that, it threatens the livelihood and the quality of life for white people, right? And it's like I don't know, just answer the question, and it just reminded me of like this the hard reality because I had a hard time with it for like a couple of days after watching the movie. It just was like, bruh, the reality is that our country is built on racism for one, but like out of a place of fear though, more so now than a place of even like authority over, right? Like it was like built on having authority over black bodies, but even it got to the point where it was like if they get sees their potential or full potential, or ever really like get unified and get together like that and really fight for what's right like that, they might actually get what they want, and that threatens my livelihood, right? That threatens what I deem to be important, which in and of itself, being as a fear turns into something evil and bad. But with it by itself like that, it's just people who are afraid, trying to protect what they feel like is theirs and they're not supposed to lose, right? So it's not even so it's like it's the fear of black excellence that then propels people to making these horrible decisions that end up costing all of us greatly. But not necessarily out of a place of like your skin is brown, so I hate you. No, what you're trying to do threatens what I feel like I'm supposed to have, and therefore you now pose a threat to me. And so that's the part that I felt like was so done well in the movie, where it was like less to do with the fact that like their skin is brown, so we hate them. It's like no, their advancement like it endangers me in some kind of way, and I must do what I have to do to stop this.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you like you want to get some. I just want to jump on that real quick. So what I meant by that with Game of Thrones is, you've seen some Game of Thrones, right? Have you seen Game of Thrones? No? Okay. So with Game of Thrones, essentially,
Don't really have to watch it.
No, I'm not going to do that. Like, essentially, there is no bad guy, right?
Gotcha.
Because it's similar to what you were saying, is that everybody believes what they're doing is the right thing for their side, their country, whatever the case may be. And when you take a look at it from that perspective, rather than you're not honorable, you're going behind somebody's back and doing this, that, and the third. When you look at it from that point of view, of just their perspectives, like, I can see how you think that you're the good guy.
Yeah.
And how you're making the best decisions for your people and you're doing nothing wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that was an interesting thing. Like you said, like that was an interesting thing in the movie because, you know, it was like conflicts with everything. Because the FBI agent guy, you know what I'm saying, he thought what he was doing was the right thing to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once his own livelihood got put into question, you know what I'm saying, when he was an officer from two other guys and whatnot, and they asked him that question, he was like, So now I have to kind of give up some of my morals and whatnot, and standards and everything else like that. This is affecting my livelihood.
Yeah.
And then you got Bill, and then you got Fred, and Bill is just he's trying to live the best way that he knows how to live. And like how you said, like everybody like has their own thing, and it's like they meet, and it's like conflicting.
Yeah.
And somebody's side has to lose one for the other to win. You know what I mean? And like I said, like I thought that like that was it was interesting. It was interesting to see that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I knew what was going to be the end result of it, and it was hard to kind of, you know what I'm saying, to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like it's not gonna be a happy ending.
Yeah.
Because that's not factual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, what were you gonna say? Or you want to say nothing? No.
At this point, no matter. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
We kind of on a solemn note, but one for the money, two for the show.
No, I just wanted to get that out there. Cause like I seen the movie.
Yeah, no, I appreciate we talked about it because I've been trying to get y'all to watch the movie for a year.
Well, I told y'all I watched the documentary.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter. Stop bringing that up. It don't matter.
Did you watch his interview?
Bro, that's like me saying, like, did you read the book and you said I read the summary?
That's not the summary.
No,
I read the
you read
actual
the
book.
No,
You
bro.
read the
No.
Yeah, I watched
No.
the documentary.
No.
You watched the summary.
No. I asked you to watch the piece of art that's right there, bro. You said I watched the thing about the piece of art.
I watched the history behind the
I
art.
said, no, man, bro, you can just watch the movie. Movie long though. Wasn't it long? Movie
I was
long,
at
bro.
an hour and 20 minutes, and I realized I had 40 more minutes to go, and I'm just like,
Yeah, I went to sleep. I was like, bro, I gotta finish something. This is too much. There was a lot of emotion, bro. Oh man.
it was fine.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I don't really get emotionally attached to too many movies. But did you see When They See Us?
Yeah. That
That,
was tough.
that literally hit me on the edge of my bed.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I ain't never been really too shook at it. I've been watching slasher movies since I was a kid, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty cool with it. So, but it was just like that scared. That was terrifying. I was like, oh no, yeah.
That's one of them that was really great, but was so hard to watch that I like black it out a little bit. Like man, that was so good. But when I tell you like I ain't talk about it in the last like 3 years like that, never talk about it because I don't want to have to bring myself back to that. It was so tough to watch, bro. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about it now, bro. But that was hard.
Man.
That was hard.
But I'm gonna tell. But I guess another reason why I said it is because that's when like watching Judas and the Black Messiah. Because I told, well, I don't know if I said it here to y'all, but I know I've said it before. Like that was my dream to be a revolutionary. And the thing is, I watch what happens when you do that.
Yeah.
And it's like it never prevented me from wanting to still be there. It's just like it's hard for me to watch things associated with that because it's like one thing, you know what I'm saying, it does is it puts you in the mindset of what you have to be weary of. That's not. But to end on a happier note, I don't see why people like Chick-fil-A. I honestly don't. I don't. The burgers, I got a spicy chicken sandwich from there once, and I was offended.
You didn't like the spicy chicken,
You need to get the Polynesian sauce. Why didn't they put it on the burger? Oh, how am I supposed to know? I gotta ask you for ketchup and mayonnaise. Why do I have to pay extra for lettuce and tomato? I can go to not Burger King. What's that place? Popeyes, and they'll at least put pickles on it.
Let me ask you one question. How long did it take you to get your order?
A while, because I went to the one that was on that's on Chicago Avenue, right off State.
Yeah.
So they usually busy.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
Yeah,
I still got my food fast over there.
That's what I'm saying. Like most Chick-fil-A's, bro, you can have your order in like 2 minutes or something, bro. Bro, I have never had to wait more than 5 minutes for my stuff.
The one that's over off Roosevelt. I know it's not exactly on Roosevelt, but like you turn, like you make a left if you going east towards the lake from coming from west.
Sure.
But if you make a left, it's like a Chick-fil-A right there. I was there to pick up an order. I don't like Chick-fil-A. I don't like their fries. No offense. I don't like their fries. Like I had the waffle fries for real, bro. Like I had got a free order from there, and I was just like, I had to look at my best friend like, this is you like? Like, nah.
Let me ask you this one question Maria, before we get about it.
Why Chick-fil-A?
I know, not why Chick-fil-A. So you said that you're not big on The Office, Parks and Rec. I'm not big on Parks and Rec either, but that's here and there.
How much you love?
What is a show, sitcom or whatever, that you think is great that you can just watch over and over again and not get tired of?
I love New Girl.
I'm not mad at that.
I love it. I love it.
I'm not mad at that.
You never watched New Girl?
Oh.
Oh, you might need to watch New Girl, G. That show funny, bro.
Yeah.
Like I watched that. Like I watched that when it came out every week until the show went off the air, bro. I loved that show.
I was
That's
able
a
to
good
binge it all. Like I wasn't on it in the initial wave. Like I didn't know nothing about it, and I just so happened to stumble upon it. Like when I was watching on Netflix, like one day I'm like, yo, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
I'll have that.
Y'all got anything else to add before we get out of here? No.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Favorite show?
Favorite show?
Funny.
Where you did this?
Funny one.
Where you did this?
Funny one.
So
I can't tell the .com Atlanta has. That's funny.
Okay, I bet.
So I gotta get that one. Yeah.
What's up?
since I'm not gonna say The Office, because that'd be a cop out. Community.
Yeah.
I bet your mother.
Okay.
Hilarious. Or my, no, I ain't saying. My baby daddy is kind of. You ever heard of that? My baby's dad?
No. I was
What
literally
type of hood you come on?
It is not hood. It's a white guy.
This is called Baby Daddy, bro.
No.
It's just called Baby Daddy. Yeah.
Hey, no, you know. But yeah,
Actually, I watched that show too.
you seen
Baby
it?
Daddy, yeah,
Yeah.
that show was funny. When Tom's Maury in it, little smart guy joined in it,
Yeah.
that show was funny. FA, take us home.
All right. Once again, Maria, thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Love having you on. We cannot wait to have you on. When it's time to promote your show, for you to come back and tell us about the Office episodes, whether you liked them or not, they was Trinidad, they was hilarious, they made you a fan.
Drop that social.
Yeah, you got socials, you got anything that's coming up? What can we find you at? Go ahead.
You gotta bring your phone out.
Okay, why'd you call me?
And make sure you cut this time up so it don't sound like she already had it in her hand beforehand and she got it out real fast. Make sure that this delay don't actually stay in here. Like what I'm saying right now, that's not actually the filler between her figuring out what her socials are and stuff like that. Because she's still scrolling, but she don't need to be scrolling because she should have that memorized like that.
Well, okay. To be fair, I have 3 Instagram handles.
That's 3 too many.
No, one's my personal one, which I do some of my art, have my art on. It's @hermosa_artista, HERMOSA_ARTISTA. And then my business page is FW Comfort Zone.
That's what I'm saying.
We are trying to have a show in Chicago, so we need artists,
Hey.
and we have 2.5 artists here. So we can spoken
Or
word.
like a quarter pounder.
So if you're trying to get in on this Chicago art show, you probably should DM Hermosa_Artista
DM FW Comfort Zone.
on FW Comfort Zone.
You got a plug.
Yes, we accept all artists.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been another episode of Reset the Vibe, episode 51. 51.
Yeah.
Thank you.
51.
51.
This guy. As always, ladies and gentlemen, please take care of one another. Be kind to one another. As always, love.
It look like I dad.